Hello. Hey everybody. I want to show you my world domination plans. Mwahaha. Gonna make some money. Gotta have a sense of humor in life when life's tough sometimes. You don't have to, but so I made some sketches here. Got some sketches about some stuff I wanted to talk about from Bible studies that I think would be useful technology that I was going to release to make billions of dollars and probably never going to get to, so I'm just going to talk about them anyways. Here we go. Okay. First one's a flame study. You got temperature, color, shape, X, Y, Z, whatever. Objective. Just make some really sharp stuff. An example would be like, let's say a flame at a certain temperature, a certain color, a certain shape, which this is not relevant to the shape, or certain movement velocity. Well, if you had a rock like obsidian, and it was red or a certain color, what shape could you sand it, or nano print it, or whatever, to get a really sharp edge? Is there a relevance to the flame color study? Like, I don't know, test cuts. I think there's some, because it mentions that there was this flame, right? With a sword in the Garden of Eden. It burnt in every direction, like a halo, only like a reaper thing, like a broadsword cuts in both directions, like a pitchfork, like the tip of a sword. It shoots like an arrow. Hit the rock, right? And the rock, like bread, split open, like flame, gushed out water. They had a boat. The skull, Golgotha, skull and crossbones. Remember to take your cross with you. Tie the word of God to your heart, like milestones, different places, sounds. Because what's tied to your heart releases out and lands on the crescent-shaped mountain, because the crescent shape dealt with to pull it in, different shapes of the sword cutting the flame, like water and grass maybe. Anyways, that was one of the studies I wanted to do. I'm not going to release all the studies all at once because I haven't wrote them all down yet. Another one is the Raise Human Life study. Because Jesus said, what you do to the least, you do to me. So, in my opinion, he also talks about how, anyways, in my opinion, based off the Bible verses I've read, in order to increase the maximum life of a person, like Adam supposedly lived to be 900 years old, he didn't have a bunch of people living and dying. So as more people are born that die, it seems plausible, not completely plausible, but partly plausible, that it causes the age at which a person can live to decrease. So I'm suggesting that in order to increase human life of the oldest people, which we all live forever if you believe in Jesus, but I'm saying, he also mentions, use what you were given, you'll be given more. So if you have wisdom and stuff, you could possibly increase the life that we can't see, which is like, or I said that backwards. Anyways, back in the days, you had, and currently you have parasites in wildlife. I read a study, because I was thinking about this, that if you just introduce one type of parasite into your body, say parasite A, depending on what it is, it could kill you. So you don't want to rush out and do this. That's why it's going to do a study. But supposedly, if you introduce a group of parasites, say parasite A, B, C, and D, or whatever it is, this is just variable theoretical information. Parasite A prevents parasite B from killing the host, and B prevents C from killing the host, C prevents D, and D prevents A, and they all work together to create a stronger, healthier host. I want to mention that dandelions are antivirals. I reap where I did not sow. They're a member of the sunflower family. Walk in the light, for he is in the light. And that it takes about 3 years for symbiosis to occur. or to domesticate a plant. So you take a bunch of domesticated dandelions, you have a big garden. 3 years go by and nobody plants them by hand, which forms the symbiosis. They become wild dandelions again. You know what I'm saying? So if we go out there and we had a hybrid lifestyle that told us which plants we could eat, it's very possible that the wild dandelions could become domesticated without having to plant them. And this may be true with other stuff that would help make sure that we raise the bar so that from the bottom, like Jesus said to do. So what I was thinking is that a lot of the work's probably already done. Like you could probably study this rabbit in this area, this animal in this area, this animal, and compare them, study parasites in wildlife, to find common groups, A, B, C. So most likely in certain regions, and then you could create a parasite pack, where you mix it into some drink or somehow you reintroduce the parasites into your body, which in the Old Testament, it mentions rules for insects that had certain specifications to be considered holy or clean to eat. Most likely those insects contain the parasite groups that are needed. And something you'll want to keep in mind is study what foods kill, like parasite B, if you eat them, because that will create an imbalance which then could hurt the host. So there'll be certain foods that will most likely want to be avoided or only eat a certain way to keep from killing your parasites once you get them established in your body. I thought that would be a pretty cool study. Anyways, I'm going to think about some more of my ideas and write them down, some of the other studies I had. If you get rich or if you make a parasite pack and you get it all figured out, please send it to me or tell me about it. Jesus is the teacher, master, and I'm just trying to learn from him and look at what he said and use wisdom in what he said to come up with a plan to help myself and others out. So, have a blessed day or night. Meditate day and night. And all your ways turn to him and he'll make your path correct. So I always try to turn back the words of Jesus. As Jesus' words to me are like a dimensional explosion that is perfect and truthful in every way, And then everybody else to me is kind of like different colors, like where we all have to work together to create white or pure light that's seen. But then there's unseen light that is like a black hole. And if you look up when a black hole sun eats a black hole, it recycles the energy and shoots it out and sprays it or something. It's crazy. So the truth is, because man loved darkness rather than light, but talks about how even if you're a member of his, you'll be called by worse things. So the truth is pretty powerful and evident throughout everything, and trying to expand that. It's pretty cool.